Nintendo is fighting back against the Steam Deck. How's it going, everyone, and welcome to Deck Ready. Today I have a huge video for you guys. Black Friday is right around the corner, so I looked up some of the best games in the Steam Autumn Sale, and there's also some good deals on micro SD cards. So first up, let's talk about micro SD cards. Black Friday is right around the corner, which is basically the best time of the entire year to pick up a new micro SD card for your Steam Deck. Now I'm using the SanDisk Extreme, which is a 1 terabyte drive, and that one has not really come down much in price at all since I bought it. When I bought it, it was around $250, and now it's at $229 on Amazon. But if you want to get a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, Rock Paper Shotgun is recommending the Samsung Pro Plus micro SD card for a few reasons. First of all, it's $55, which, you know, it's half the size of the 1 terabyte SanDisk card, but that's way less than half the price. And the other reason is when they tested this micro SD card out in the Steam Deck and compared it to other micro SD cards, it was downloading and loading games a lot faster than its competition. So yeah, that would basically make the maximum storage size of your Steam Deck a little over a terabyte if you were someone who picked up the 512 gigabyte edition Steam Deck, or if you've upgraded your SSD to a 512 gigabyte drive, because that's kind of where the prices get to the point where they get outrageous. Like right after 512 gigabytes is where you're going to start paying like a couple $100 like I did for a 1 terabyte one. I feel like this micro SD card could honestly work out pretty well for you. And even if you take away the fact that the micro SD from Samsung is faster than the one from SanDisk, the SanDisk one is still expensive. It's around $80 right now at the time I'm recording this video. So yeah, it might fall a little bit farther by the time Black Friday rolls around, but with the knowledge in mind that the Samsung micro SD card is going to run games faster, I think you should probably just pick that one up either way. And knowing that that SD is overall faster, I just went and looked to see if they offer a 1 terabyte version, and I couldn't find one. So that's kind of frustrating. I hope in the future Samsung offers a 1 terabyte micro SD card at their speeds, because yeah, it is a little bit slow downloading games to the SanDisk micro SD card. I know there's actually a formatting process you can do on the Steam Deck to make download speeds faster on the micro SDs from SanDisk and other brands, but you have to format the entire thing. And because my micro SD card is over a terabyte, I have downloaded pretty damn close to a terabyte worth of games. So I really just don't feel like wiping it to make it a little bit faster and then have to re-download every single game that I own. This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is the cheapest VPN on the market because right now they're running their Steel Black Friday deal. You can get it right now for $1.70 a month with 6 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is a limited time offer, so if you want to get it, make sure you click the link down in the description. This is the cheapest Atlas VPN has been all year. Look, at this point in 2022, everyone should be using a VPN. On top of other features that I'll talk about in a minute, the easiest one I can think of that gives you the most benefit is that you can unlock Netflix libraries in other countries just by changing your VPN to that country. You can also use Atlas VPN to keep your Google results private so that when you search for something on Google, you're not getting tailored ads directly served to you, you're getting an organic search every single time. And when you use Atlas VPN, it not only blocks malware, but it also blocks ads and trackers on websites so you can know you're browsing safe. And with Atlas VPN, one subscription protects every device you own. So make sure you take advantage of their Steel Black Friday deal. Like I already mentioned, you can get it right now for $1.70 per month with 6 months free and a money-back guarantee that lasts for 30 days. I have it linked down in the description, but if you want to type it in yourself, it's get.atlasvpn.com/deckready. Huge shout out to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for a new dock, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel and set your notifications to all, because I made a mega dock overview where I looked at pretty much every dock that's available for the Steam Deck. That's coming out this Saturday. But also, if you want to pick one up in advance, the JSOX upgraded dock is on sale right now for $45 on their website, but I've honestly seen it as low as $40 in some places. And this dock is not one-to-one the same as the official Steam Deck dock. It's actually missing one port, so you get 3 USB 3.0 ports. You get the USB-C port that unfortunately is only for power delivery, and then for display output, you basically only have HDMI, which on the Steam Deck official dock, you get 3 USB 3.0 ports. You also get the USB-C port for power. You get the HDMI port. You get the gigabit Ethernet port, which the JSOX dock also has, but it also finally has a DisplayPort port. I don't know how to say that. Is it just DisplayPort, or do you say DisplayPort port? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. But regardless, $45 for a dock like this this, especially when you consider that you are going to pay $90 for the official Steam Deck one. That seems like a pretty good price, and it doesn't say anything on JSOX's website about it being a deal that's only for Black Friday. But regardless, if you are looking for a dock and this is the one you decide to go with, I would say pick it up for this price because it's the exact same price as its biggest competitor, which is the dock from iVolar. And they're really one-to-one, pretty much the exact same dock. So if you want to get one sooner, I would say check this one out for $45. Next up, let's talk about the Steam Autumn Sale, which is in full swing right now. It's running throughout the Thanksgiving weekend, so if you want any games and you've been waiting on stuff that's on your wish list, now is the time to check. I picked out a few games. The only one I've actually bought so far, though, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They have the complete edition of the game, like the full-on Ultimate Edition one, for $25 right now, which is pretty good. I've beaten the game before. It's a really long game, and honestly, it's one where I ended up buying the XP booster just to get through it a little bit quicker. But after playing God of War Ragnarok, I'm just really into mythological games right now. I downloaded Titan Quest on my Steam Deck. I've been having a ton of fun with that. I've already looked online and there are plenty of videos out there of it running really well. You can play it at pretty much medium-high settings and lock it to a near perfect 30 FPS that barely ever dips. And for a game like that, I think that's awesome. And we'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but there's more games from Ubisoft coming back to Steam. So there's one that I'll highlight later on in the video that I think will be awesome on the device. The next game I'm going to recommend is God of War 2018, which is $37. Yes, I know this game has been out since 2018 technically, and also it's been given away for free multiple times on the PlayStation Store, but it's on PC for the first time as of this year, and this is officially the cheapest I've seen it fall. I'm going to be real, this is about how much I paid for the game back in, I think, January when it came out, because I use this website called Green Man Gaming to get games usually, and they do pretty good launch discounts, but $37 for God of War I think is totally worth it. Get enough of God of War right now. I played through God of War Ragnarok over the past couple weeks and I did my best to get it to 100%, and I got to like 90%. I beat the story and there's still a ton of endgame stuff to do, so to keep my skills sharp while I'm here in Michigan because I don't have my PS5, I've been playing through God of War 2018 again because they are very similar games. And if you do Cryobyte33's swap fix, like use his CryUtilities app to change your swappiness and also the swap file size on your Steam Deck, you will get much better performance out of this game. You'll be able to play it at original settings with FSR set to quality, and also it'll be a locked 30 FPS, and it looks so good and runs really well. And best of all, because this was originally a PS4 game, it was designed with 30 FPS animations in mind, so it's one of the few games out there right now where you can play it at 30 FPS and not really see any of the weird degradation issues you get on stuff like, I don't know, Gotham Knights, which has the weirdly not smooth 30 FPS camera panning implementation. Like the frame time in God of War 2018 is perfect. Some people were having issues where if you would play the game for over an hour, it would basically like have a memory leak and then stutter and you'd have to restart the game. But when you do the CryUtilities fix and then also increase your VRAM to 4 gigabytes, that basically eliminates that issue. Like I have had zero stuttering and zero crashes since I did that, which is awesome. Sticking with the PlayStation games that run great on the Steam Deck, Days Gone is only $20, and this game is just so freaking underrated, man. This is one of my favorite games ever in terms of open world zombie shooters. Doing the hordes towards the end of the game is some of the most fun I've ever had with a PlayStation game. I love Sony Bend. I used to play all their PSP games, like the Siphon Filter games, obviously Resistance Retribution they worked on. They did a Vita game, which was Uncharted Golden Abyss, which honestly is better than Uncharted 1. So to see them graduate to a full-on open world PS4 game was actually really cool. And this is another one that runs really well at original settings. I would use FSR in it just to get a locked 30 FPS. If you want like a quintessential Steam Deck portable game, I would say it's Monster Hunter Rise, and that game is on sale right now for $20. And if you want to get the recently released Sunbreak edition, that's an extra $30. So you can get the entire Monster Hunter Rise experience for less than the original game cost at launch. So yeah, I would definitely say pick up the base edition of the game for $20, see if you like it, and then make sure if you are going to buy Sunbreak, you do it while it's on on sale because it's pretty expensive without that little bit of a discount. Next up, even though it just came out on PC, Persona 5 Royal has already been discounted to $41, and I'm glad I waited to buy this game. I showed restraint. I said I'm not really going to play it right now because I've got so much stuff on my plate with God of War Ragnarok, but now that I'm past that and I'm looking into the future of games, I really wanted to play Persona 5 Royal. So I looked at the Steam store today, 41 bucks. That was where I felt totally fine purchasing this game. My best friend George, who I'm actually filming this video at his house right now, this is like his favorite JRPG of all time. He said it's like 150 hours of actual good content. I played Persona 4 Golden on the PS Vita back when that came out, and I loved it, and I think it runs really well on the Steam Deck as well. So if you wanted to play Persona 5 Royal, which is like the new upgraded version of the game, you can get it now for $41, which again, just like with Days Gone, feels like a no-brainer price. Spider-Man Remastered, which surprisingly also runs pretty well on the Steam Deck, is on sale for $45. Sony put this game on Steam at full price, which is kind of irritating, and Miles Morales, they basically did the same thing. That was a $50 game on the PlayStation 5, and it's a $50 game on PC. So I think it's worth paying $45 for the first Spider-Man game because playing them in reverse order kind of messes with the story a little bit. This, again, does run pretty well on the Steam Deck. It's deck verified. I played this game too recently, and I actually platinumed it, so it's like still too fresh in my mind to give another playthrough, as is Miles Morales, but I know a lot of people are into this game, so I figured I'd let you know that it's on sale for $45. And then finally, the Steam Deck Game of the Year, I want to say, Vampire Survivors is $5. Now that's the price I actually got it for because while it was in early access, it was $5, but they raised the price when it came out of early access, so if for some reason you've been waiting for an excuse to pick up Vampire Survivors, I think you can feel good picking up what people are calling one of the games of the year. Like, people are really mad that this game is not on the Game of the Year list for the Game Awards. It's only $5. And the last story I have for you guys today is that once again, Nintendo is being extremely out of pocket with their lawyers, which I know, huge shocker, right? Like, Nintendo going after the little guy and causing problems. And this time it's even worse than shutting down a game like the Metroid 2 remake that they shut down because they were remaking it themselves. That game looked really good. They shut it down, but they like kind of had a right to do that because someone was remaking a Nintendo game without having it be paid for by Nintendo. So if you use EmuDeck for your Steam Deck, which if you're emulating games on your Steam Deck and you're not using EmuDeck, what the hell are you doing? All you do is go to emudeck.com and download one file, and it just installs everything for you in a few seconds. Like, every emulator with Steam Deck resolution and controls and everything is just laid out perfectly for you. It also comes along with an app called Steam ROM Manager, which goes through all of your emulated games and adds art for them to Steam. So you get the banner, you get the box art on the little game, you get the little icon, you get any related art from that game that you would need. And the website Steam ROM Manager pulls all that art from is SteamGridDB. I also used it to grab art for apps like Spotify before I made my own art. You can get Discord art on there. You can get art for Cider, which is an Apple Music sort of web interface that looks like its own little music player that I use on Steam Deck. And it's really all around just a great website. And it's awesome that people can make their own art for games and upload them to this website. Now, the issue is there's art for games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's also art for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, and Breath of the Wild because people really like emulating Switch games over on the Steam Deck, which how can you blame them? Switch games run better by a wide margin on the Steam Deck than they do on the Switch. Now, it's weird to see that there's Splatoon 3 art because the big draw of Splatoon 3 is to, of course, play the multiplayer, which you can't do on the Steam Deck. Now, obviously, when Nintendo found out about this website, they didn't take kindly to it, so what they did is they
DMCA takedown,
like individual art on the website. So they looked for games like Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, all the games I just mentioned, probably Mario Kart 8, and then they just take down all of the art related to those games. Now, what I'm curious about is if this is going to screw up Steam ROM Manager, right? The image is still there on the website, so like if you search for a game that had a takedown art, there's an image there that has pink text that says that it was taken down because Nintendo requested it. So I'm wondering if Steam ROM Manager, like if I was emulating Breath of the Wild on my Steam Deck, if it would pull the art from that page and then be like, oh, this is the art file, but then all of my listings for Nintendo games like that would have the DMCA takedown art that's already on the website. Either way, it's super frustrating because it doesn't really seem like something Nintendo should be able to do. Like, this is just game box art and they're DMCA takedowning it from a website. It just seems like taking it a step too far. And obviously they are pretty pissed about the Steam Deck. They were taking down people's YouTube videos for showing how to emulate Switch games, which to some extent I understand. And then Valve actually put out a video where the Steam Deck they used to record in it, it had Yuzu, the Switch emulator, on the home page, and they basically had to re-upload that video. So I'm assuming that Valve, despite the fact that they just released Portal and Portal 2 on the Switch, I'm assuming again that yeah, the relationship between Valve and Nintendo is either already very strained or will become more strained over time. And now I'll do an outro because everyone gets so upset when I don't do an outro. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today in Steam Deck news. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne, and I'll see you in the next one. Shape on.